Shalom, Akim Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor is due to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Akakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, wherever they may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. It was really be edifying. It's going into the famine. That would be a major famine and dearth in the land of America, as we're seeing the stage being set through these record-breaking floods and droughts in one part of the country. Then you got storms here, and then you got this manufactured weather, which is known as geoengineering. The disappearing of bumblebees and honeybees, and there's been an influx of mosquitoes and biting midges and gnats. But yet, you know, the butterflies and the bees that pollinates the flowers are pretty much non-existent, which we're coming into an overly artificial world. Manufactured famines, and pestilence, and shit is getting ready to hit the fan, man. Farmers are copping out, you know. The lands are being sold, and the seeds and so forth are being altered. It's crazy, you know. Like shit, growing up in Chicago, summer, springtime, it was nothing but bees and butterflies all around. Now, I haven't seen a butterfly in years, man. I've seen a couple of honeybees around, you know, but those around trash areas, but not too many bumblebees. There's been a lot of wasps, a lot of midges and stuff like that. But I haven't seen any butterflies, man. You know, especially when you live in a grassy, wooded area, you have butterflies all over the place. Hell, I don't even see dragonflies like that no more. So this man got to go, man, all right? And what we're witnessing now is a total demolition of the society, which is known as the Great Reset. But famine and judgment will hit this side of the world, man. All right? And when famine and judgment and pestilence and more famine and starvation be a thing, that's when that's going to get a lot of people's attention. And that's when people are going to start to lose their minds, man, all right? So I got 3 videos I want to play. First two, I think, is by Dabu7, and then I might have another one as well, because we also have water shortages in these cities. So what happens when you have a shortage of water, like the scriptures tells us in Esdras, that the fountains should stay still and not run for 3 hours? Yeah, they're going to cut services here, man, and when the services are cut, it's not going to be good, okay? So anyway, fair use, fair use.
This is a video I've meant to do for the last few weeks, actually. I'm going to show you something, and I want to know what you think. I can't be the only one that's noticed this. I can't be. But where are all the insects? Let me just show you this. Just hold on a minute. I don't know whether you can see this. I've got a bit of glare on the screen, so I can't really be sure whether you're going to see it properly. This is a buddleia, yeah? All the lovely flowers on it. These are butterflies and bees' favourites. I mean, normally there's bees and butterflies on these all the time. I haven't seen one this year, not one. There's a few flies about, but nothing like there should be. I mean, milking people will know this. In this time of year, they're an absolute pain in the fucking arse in the pile of the flies. But look, there's nothing on there. There's a few flies knocking about, but nothing like there should be. What do you think? Well, I looked at the cows yesterday in the yard. I mean, it was a crap day yesterday. There is open cloud today, but yesterday it was just overcast. It was warm.
Yeah, because they're messing with the weather, man.
But just under that blanket that we've had all bloody summer. I mean, the grass growth is fucking awful. I've actually opened silage clamp yesterday because I just barely got any grass. I put a load of slurry out because we're going to get rain again, but what do you think? Conspiracy? Is it from them spraying chemicals in the atmosphere, changing the weather? I don't know. What do you think? But I can't be the only one that's noticed that there are no bloody insects about. I haven't seen one bee, not one bumblebee this year. It dawned on me a few weeks ago. I thought, we've normally got loads of bumblebees knocking around here, and bees, and even wasps. I mean, fucking wasps. But there's nothing about. It's not good. Something is going on. Definitely, there is something happening.
Yeah, bro, because the Esau is manufacturing a famine. Let's do this here. What are the benefits of bees to the ecosystem? It says bees are vital to ecosystems worldwide, playing a central role in maintaining biodiversity, supporting plant reproduction, and sustaining food webs. It says pollination, the foundation of plant reproduction. Bees are among the most effective pollinators on Earth as they forage nectar and pollen. They transfer pollen between flowers, enabling flower planting, which is angiosperms, to reproduce and produce seeds and fruits. Roughly 75 to 90% of flowering plants depend on animal pollinators, with bees being the most important group of many ecosystems, including wild plants, trees, shrubs, and agricultural crops. Forget about that, right? Supporting biodiversity and food chains. So if they want to manufacture famine, what they've been doing for years now, why not kill off all the bees? Because bees have been getting scarcer and scarcer depending on what demographic you live in. But it says plants supported by bees from the base of terrestrial foods, webs, seeds, fruits, nuts, and foliage seeds, insects, birds, mammals, including rodent, deer, bears, and humans. Now, think of it is, he would rather destroy the natural way of living by creating, by killing everything off just to create something artificial. So he's so much of a fucking devil to the point he'll kill off all the bees and the butterflies just to be justified on lab growing shit. Like, what kind of sick pervert are you, man? These people gotta go, all right? It is no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no compromising. Esau has to go. It says bees themselves are a food source for birds, spiders, mammals like bears and badgers, and predatory insects, and that activity helps maintain diverse plant communities, which prevents dominance by a few species and support overall ecosystem resilience. Okay, agriculture and economic value. Bees pollinate over 80% of the world's major crops and about 1/3 of the food we eat, including apples, almonds, blueberries, cherries, cucumbers, melons, squash, and many more. But in the U.S. alone, honeybee pollination services are valued and service $1 billion annually. Okay, soil health and nutrition cycling to honey, beeswax, and other products, ecosystem stability and resilience. Threats that highlight their importance. Bees face challenges from habitat loss, pesticides, diseases, climate change, chemtrailing, cloud engine, what they call it, cloud seeding, or what do you call it? Damn, I just mentioned it. Geoengineering. Invasive species, decline in bee populations, colony collapse, disorder in honeybees, drop in wild bees have led to reduced yields in some crops and warnings about cascading effects on plant communities. In short, bees are species in many ecosystems, and their pollinations services drive plant diversity, which in turn supports entire food webs, stabilizes soil, sequesters carbon, and provides the foundation for much of the food and beauty we enjoy in nature. Yeah. Bees are dying out. Bees are becoming extinct. Let's see what it says. Most people not at risk of extinction. Serious recent losses. 2024 record high colony losses, with beekeepers losing an average of 62% of colonies, totaling 1.6 million colonies lost, which economic impacts over 600 million. Some reports cited up to 70% in losses in certain operations. He killing them off, man. What are the use of butterflies to the ecosystem? Let's see what it says here. Same thing. They are generally less dominant as pollinators than bees. They contribute to biodiversity, serves as critical link in food webs. Yep, environmental health. Adult butterflies visit flower and nectar and inadvertently transfer pollen on their legs and bodies. They help pollinate many wildflowers, garden plants, crops. Yep, both food web, nutrition. Coincidence, no coincidence that they both are dying off. You don't see them no more. But yet, you got a bunch of biting fucking gnats that just ignore the shit out you all day. Man, fuck Esau, bro. Real talk, man. This dude, man, he's done enough. Let's go here to Isaiah 14, man. For real. Like, this dude, you can't even live life because you got this devil that he just destroys everything. He wants to block out the sun. He rather kill off the trees. He kills the crops. You got what you call that glyphosate, 95% of the food production. Like, what the hell are we doing? Isaiah 14:4. Matter of fact, it started 3 and it says, "It shall come to pass in that day, says Yahweh, that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve." I can't wait for that day. It says, "And thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, saying, How have the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased." That's America. "The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, and he who smote the people in wrath with continued stroke. He had ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted, and none hindered." Yeah, man, this man has to be taken out of power. "The whole earth is at rest and is quiet, and they break forth into singing. And yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee with the cedars of Lebanon, saying, Since thou art laid down, no fellow has come up against us." So even the trees are going to rejoice when this nigga gets out of power, because everything on the earth is a living organism, bro. Trees are living. Okay? You know? The oceans, that's alive, man. You know, the plants, the flowers, those things are alive, man. They got something called plant life. Instead, he wants to kill it all or make it artificially in a laboratory somewhere. Like, this nigga cut down a whole rainforest and plant fake trees. Like, what the fucking point is that? Oh, man, this man is the devil. But nonetheless, famine and pestilence will hit these cities, and you people are going to be through. Because we know how this is going to hit the American people hard, because one thing the American do, they are very prideful when it comes to their diets and their bread and circuses. If they can wine and dine, that's what they would do. Like, that's a big part of the retail here. Hospitality, food, and restaurant. They love it. But this is the book of Ezekiel 5:12. It says, "A third part of these should die with the pestilence, and with famine they should be consumed in the midst of thee. And the third part shall fall by the sword round about, and I will scatter the third part into all the winds, and I will draw the sword after them in 2/3. It says, "Thus says my anger will be accomplished, and I will cause my fury to rest upon them, and I will be comforted. And then they shall know that I am Yahweh, have spoken it in my zeal when I have accomplished my fury in them. But moreover, I will make thee waste and a reproach among the nations, and all that pass thee, and in the sights that pass by." It says here, "So it shall be a reproach and a taunt and an instruction and an astonishment unto the nations that are round about thee, when I shall execute judgments in thee in anger and in fury and furious rebukes. I, the Lord, have spoken it." So the Heavenly Father is talking about the tribes here, but where are the tribes predominantly at? In the Americas, man. And not only the tribes, you Edomites are here. Like we always teach that Jacob's trouble was Edom's trouble too. And it says, "Then I will send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which should be for the destruction, in which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and will break the staff of your bread. So I will send upon you famine and evil beast, and they shall bereave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, the Lord, have spoken it." So, yeah, famine coming. Again, just like in ancient Egypt. All right. Let's go to the next video.
Big time. What I mean by that is the whole situation with the farmers. I had a lot of people just chime in on the last video about their neck of the woods, about if they're seeing butterflies, they're seeing bees.
And I think Dabu was a Jake. I seriously believe he's a Jake. He just got the Jake spirit to me. You know, he's on top of it too.
And I noticed from the comment section that there's people out there that are either seeing them in abundance, kind of like my neck of the woods. You'll see butterflies flying around, just seeing a bumblebee. They're out here in abundance. But in my area, I know that we have designated pollinator zones. I don't know if you guys have those in your neck of the woods, but those pollinator zones help to feed the ecosystem and make sure that the butterflies and the bumblebees stay alive and they can do their job, because obviously without them, everything will collapse. We're hearing about people saying that there's none in their neck of the woods. That's concerning. Even though I have colony people around me that like do bees and all that stuff and have hives, there's been reported losses. And they've even been trying to go around to other properties to try to build up these zones just to try to counter all the loss that's happening. Now, I also have people that have stated that they run colonies in other states. Arkansas, for instance, had people chime in saying that half of their colonies have died. Half of their hives have been wiped out. They've talked to other people in the area, and they've seen similar things happen. And they were like, if it's that bad in their neck of the woods, how bad is it everywhere else? This could be targeted. We're talking about ticks being dropped off en masse on farms all across.
Yeah, they dropping off ticks. I heard that they was delivering like certain boxes and pallets, and it was all ticks and shit like that, you know, because one thing, you have what they call Lyme's disease. When you get Lyme's disease, you can't eat red meat. And this devil, like I said, he, like Bill Gates, he dropped, I believe, like 1 million something mosquitoes into the, like, genetically modified mosquitoes into the population maybe 3-4 years ago. You know, shit that there's really no need for. I'm not saying that mosquitoes are not needed, you know, because I mean, you know, every insect is needed, but when you have you have an influx and it's out of balance and they just go wild, like I never heard of a fucking no-see-um. Like that's some new shit. And then they everywhere, man. They are in places that they supposed to be around, like muggy and swamp areas, but they're in houses now, man. They're coming out of drainage pipes, you know, and they bite the shit out you. Like living in an old apartment building that just, you know, they just everywhere. They like mosquitoes, but they're gnats. And they just drive you batshit insane because they don't lay off. They suck blood. So, I don't know, man.
Place. And people are flipping out. Again, when I look at the comment section of the most recent video, people are either seeing something or they're kind of not seeing much of anything. So it's like one or the other. You're either in an area where you have an abundance of these and you're really not worried about it because you're seeing them. But I would be concerned when you've got farmers out there chiming in saying that they're not seeing nothing on their farms. And I know every state's different, every area is different, but it's happening in mass. And it seems this whole thing is engineered. Let's look globally. What's going on here? Trump's got the Strait of Hormuz all helping all the staged crap that happened there. It's a whole nother story I'll be covering on the live stream tonight. Make sure to join me. And let me know if you guys are seeing colonies getting wiped out in your areas. And I would have a plan. I would really start green thumbing it this year. Getting some chickens going, getting something going. You'd be surprised. A handful of chickens can keep you and your family alive in a crisis situation. This...
You ain't got the Lord, none of that shit gonna matter, man.
Harvest is going to be one of the worst ever. How can it not? More than half of our farmers cannot get the fertilizer that they need.
Yeah, so next year, expect more shortages because they ain't got half the fertilizer to farm anymore. That's dead. So coming into the fall season, they're gonna be short. So they don't get shit together. It's gonna take. It's dead. This shit is finna fall, man.
70% are in a bad position. Most of the country is in an engineered drought. This is all by design. This is engineered. And it's going to bring about, obviously, a low yield in crops, which will result in a famine. If this keeps happening globally, for sure. I know in some areas people are saying that over the years they've noticed the bugs have disappeared gradually. And again, some people are seeing them in abundance, kind of like I have here, and I'm thankful for that. But, you know, you could go an hour from here and they'd be gone. So what's really going on? The skies, what's being dumped on us constantly, again, engineered. Every bit of it. Every bit of it, man. I would get ready. It looks like they're going into hyperdrive, and it looks like this whole Iran thing is to reset the globe. And like everyone's...
Yeah, because they're going to bring in that chip now. Ezekiel 14, and I'm going to start at verses 12. It says, the word of Yahweh came unto me again, saying, Son of man, when the land sinned against me by trespassing grievously, this land has totally disrespected the order and ways of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And he's right. That Iran thing is nothing more but to bring about the great reset, because it's biblical prophecy. You know, supply chains are being halted. The straits is being closed and reported open. Gas just went up again today. And it says here, then I will stretch out my hand upon it and will break the staff of bread thereof, and I will send famine upon it, and I will cut off man and beast from it. Okay? So, there you go. The insects are dying. The Lord said he would smite man and beast. It says, though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls, and by their righteousness, says the Lord. And if I cause a noisome beast to pass through the land, and they spoil it, so it should be desolate, so that no man pass through because of the beast, man. All right? But, hey, we're going to be delivered on our faith and our works. So, your family, your mother, your father, your children, hey, they might not make it up out of here, especially if they're not believers of this truth and they're not under your household, per se. The Lord might not have mercy on your family, man. So, you got to seek out your own salvation and let the dead bury their dead. All right? Got one more video. Then I get one more precept and we'll end it. Where the fuck is it at? Salakia. Here we go.
61% of the lower 48 states is in a moderate to an exceptional drought, and that includes 97% of the southeast and two-thirds.
Fucking weirdo. These guys are all juiced in. Look at this dude, man. Tell he plays with little boys. I ain't even a real man. Like, where's your beard at? All these are paid and bought and paid for crisis actors, sorcerers, prognosticators, and they forecast based on the shit they're spraying. They're forecasting based on the bioengineering or the geoengineering. That's how they're able to forecast so-called accurately, which is rarely ever accurate. So if they say, well, look, Wednesday and Thursday we may get a round of snow, expect them to be spraying the skies heavy so they can get rain and snow.
To the west, according to the U.S. Drought Monitor. This means that drought in the lower 48 in the contiguous United States has reached record levels for this time of the year. NOAA, also known as the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, it has a Palmer Drought Severity Index. It hit its highest levels for March since the record started in 1895. But last month, it was the third driest month recorded regardless of the time of the year, and that trailed only the famous Dust Bowl months from July to August in 1934. We've seen it right here in the West. The lack of snowfall, warmer temperatures for the first...
Yeah, because you doubles are spraying. I believe it was in Iran, or I forgot what country, they destroyed like the U.S. equipment or like their force fields or some shit, and they destroyed something, and all of a sudden they got snow. Like, whoa, where'd that come from? And all of a sudden it's snowing over there now, because we understand that Esau's technology, it creates a domino effect of destruction. So it'll say the season is supposed to be breaking every 3 months. You got a new season. But you notice that it goes straight from winter to summer. Like right now, this will be considered our springtime because it's not regularly hot. Though it's been a lot of storms, but springtime's supposed to be pretty nice. But as soon as you hit like the beginning of June, That's technically when the summer hits. That's when it just gets hot as hell. And then from summer, it's going to go right into winter. You barely have a fall time because of Esau's technology, man. So when the Lord get this devil out of power, then things are going to shift back to its natural means. We're going to actually have a summer. We're going to have a spring. We're going to have a fall. We're going to have a winter. None of this artificial nonsense.
Couple of months of the year really have not set us up for a fruitful summer. Unfortunately, it could be setting us up for a very severe wildfire season. The biggest concern that meteorologists have with this drought, it's what it's going to be doing to agriculture and unfortunately food prices. If America does in fact have a poor crop year because of the drought, it could become a global problem.
61% of the United States is now under extreme or severe drought conditions. If these conditions do not lessen in any fashion, then this is going to be devastating for our farmers and what they can produce. You add on top of that the fact that there are data centers going up everywhere, and in some areas where they're already built, water levels are critical at this point because of the drought. These situations compound on top of one another to put us in a perfect storm of so many events. Less crops means less food. Less crops means less meats, as they're meant for feed. Less water. Now we're crossing into territory we really don't want to be in. And data centers are compounding this tremendously. We're in trouble. And we just need to face reality.
I can't live in my home with half of my home functioning and no water, and I can't drink the water.
Just 400 meters away from Beverly Morris's home in rural Georgia, Meta, Instagram and Facebook's parent company, has built a giant data center. A private well is Beverly's only source of water. But since construction began on the data center, the well water has turned murky. The sediment you see, that's from her taps. And she says it wasn't there before.
The water won't come through the water lines to fill the toilet tank, so I have to fill it with a bucket of water. It's plugged with sediment.
Beverly believes the construction is to blame, but Meta denies this.
No one should have to be afraid to drink their water. Not in this day, not in this age.
Meta says it commissioned an independent study that found its data center operation had not adversely affected groundwater conditions in the area. But Beverly just isn't convinced.
Meta is a $1 trillion industry, and they're huge. To me, it's like David and Goliath.
Data centers like this are being built around the world, especially in Georgia, one of the fastest growing data center hubs in the US. They power AI tools like ChatGPT and require a lot of water to stay cool.
Right now, there are farmers that are firing
Yeah, he just built the shit in Antarctica, but instead he wants to build them right in the damn cities.
up the
We got one up here in Kansas. We got a couple of them coming out. We got Facebook. They built, I think it was finished last year.
tractors and heading out into the fields for spring planting. And a monster drought has swallowed 60% of the lower 48 states. You haven't heard about this, but it is true. The NOAA maps don't lie. The South is baked sugarcane, rice, peanuts, fruit trees, choking under severe, extreme, and even exceptional drought. Out in the plains, where that's our bread basket, winter wheat is sitting in dust. It can't germinate because it doesn't have the water. In the West, the mountain snowpack is vanishing before our eyes. I mean, I am shocked. I'm here in the Mountain West. We normally have snow up on the mountains all around me. We don't have snow. I mean, we have some in really high elevations, but usually on the mountain right behind my ranch, we have snow up there at this time. It snowed yesterday, but nothing stuck because it's too warm. So you don't have that
We barely had a winter too.
snow. And now, at least here in Idaho, cutbacks on water are already being talked about. They're being ordered along the Colorado River in Washington State, the Yakima Basin, which has a lot
of our food up there. And ranchers are staring at pastures now that they won't grow. The pastures are, the cattle herd is already the smallest it's been since the 1950s, and it's not happening in a vacuum. Farmers have been hammered for years for the skyrocketing fertilizer prices that happened, remember, after COVID, diesel costs that have taken their profit margin and just squeezed everything out of it, supply chain chaos, one hit after another hit after another hit has kept these guys barely hanging on. And now we have another fertilizer hit, and now pile the drought on top of that. The math is brutal. Math is math. Food costs are going up, and not a little, a lot. Beef, grains, produce, everything that comes from the fields all across our fruited plain is going to cost more at the grocery store.
Yep, you can thank this devil for it. Blame the devil. Second Ezra 15 and 5, it says, Behold, says Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Hey, we're here. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore thus says Yahweh, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither would I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. But behold, the innocent and righteous blood cried unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Yeah, when we let out our prayers, we are complaining, and the Heavenly Father will answer those prayers. You just got to get this devil out the way. It says, and therefore says the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. But behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, because it's going to get extremely vile out here, man. You ain't going to be able to even fathom how chaotic it's going to get, especially when the famine comes. It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and in a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the lands thereof. And Egypt should mourn, and the foundation of it should be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Heavenly Father should bring upon it. It says, they shall till the ground, they that till the ground, your farmers shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting in hell and with the fearful consolation. Yep, cloud seeding and these geoengineered storms, it's destroying the crop life. Okay, so with that, all praises and glory and honor that is due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord's will you edify. To the next lesson. Shalom.